4 years, the standard textbook timeline of human history has relied on a neat, tidy story. Modern humans emerge from Africa, sweep across the globe, and pick up a dash of Neanderthal DNA along the way through interbreeding around 47,000 years ago or later. Supposedly genetics had locked that door tight. Some of the resulting humans peopled the Americas, and this resulted in consensus indigenous history. Together this largely is today's consensus human history. But there's just one major problem. Archaeology has the key and it doesn't match the lock. Today we are looking at a glaring contradiction between how scientific consensus interpreted genetic data and global archaeological finds, and especially their ancient DNA. A contradiction that doesn't just tweak the history books, it shatters the consensus entirely. Let's start with the science. Groundbreaking papers from leading geneticists, including researchers like Arev and Leonardo, have continually reinforced a strict genetic timeline. Their data demonstrates that the interbreeding event between modern humans and Neanderthals did not happen earlier than 47,000 years ago. This creates a rigid chronological ceiling for the primary out-of-Africa migration that supposedly populated the rest of the world. Popular science media frequently highlights this exact genetic boundary, emphasizing how genetics locks down the migration window. But here is where the consensus human history starts to unravel. If the genetic timeline says modern humans couldn't have spread across the globe prior to roughly 47,000 years ago, how do we explain what we are finding in global archaeological finds? As even mainstream channels point out, the archaeological record tells a completely different story. Indonesia. Archaeologists discovered an ancient narrative cave painting of a wild pig dated to over 51,200 years ago. Laos and Australia. Excavations at deep archaeological sites reveal human presence and sophisticated activity that predate the strict 47,000-year genetic ceiling. This is not a minor rounding error. This is a massive friction point between physical artifacts and genetic models. If modern humans were painting art in Indonesia 51,000 years ago, they had to be there well before the genetic timeline allows. And if the timeline is wrong, the entire narrative of how, when, and who populated the globe falls apart. So what happens when the core pillar of consensus, the Neanderthal interbreeding timeline, collides with hard archaeological facts? The interbreeding model fails. The accepted mechanics of how, when, and where modern humans mixed with Neanderthals no longer fit the physical evidence. Origins unravel. If the migration timeline is fundamentally broken, the sweeping assumptions connecting modern global populations directly back through a singular uniform out-of-Africa bottleneck are heavily compromised. The migration chain breaks. Subsequent models, such as migrations crossing the Beringia land bridge to populate the Americas, lose their foundational anchor if the starting chronology of global spread is proven false. Despite these glaring contradictions, mainstream platforms and science media continue to defend the standard consensus, while audiences largely accept the narrative without question, treating a complex, shifting scientific debate as absolute dogma. When the physical evidence in the archaeological sites and caves doesn't match the formulas in the lab, we shouldn't just sweep the friction under the rug. We should start asking better questions. Our existence and future depend on a correct understanding of human history. Much of our work focuses on proposing actionable solutions, such as ancient and proven agroforestry practices, designed to help humanity thrive and solve mounting global crises. The above-mentioned ancient and proven agroforestry practices were quite uniquely practiced by Amazon forest Native Americans. We claim and prove in our videos that this is the main reason it has been them that peopled the whole world, and consequently they are the ancestors of all humans. At that point the entire narrative of how, when, and who populated the globe falls apart. This time there is no doubt left. Without a realistic view of our past and present, any eventual systemic threats risk compounding toward irreversible ecological and economic collapse. Downplaying critical risks, such as rapid climate shifts, agricultural pressures, or ocean circulation tipping points, offering comforting narratives instead of rigorous warnings, ultimately leaves humanity unprepared. Eventual future generations will rightfully question why warning signs were ignored for the sake of comfort. What do you think? Is the genetic consensus missing a massive piece of the puzzle, or is archaeology misinterpreting the dates? Let us know in the comments below. Subscribe for more deep dives and prepare for the action plan we all actually need. And we'll see you in the next video.